Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships.
Yeah.
'Tis the season for trying to find the perfect gift for your partner, bestie, play partner, people in your life that you care about. So for some people, that's really super exciting. They just love it.
Some people thrive on that, yeah.
Right. The rest of us stress the hell out. By us, I mean me.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. Once I know what you like, you get that same thing every year for the rest of your life, because then I don't have to stress about it.
Gift-based routines.
Yes. So we are talking today about something that we have gotten a lot of questions about from many submissives over the years, usually when they're in a higher protocol or a stricter power exchange, which is when your dom is in control of everything. How do you surprise them with a gift? So while we are putting this video out at the holidays, whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or something else, this works for birthdays, this works for anniversaries, this works for any gift-giving season you have. And I did have to deal with this in a prior power exchange relationship, which then informed how you and I talked about it.
True.
So we're going to jump right in. And how does a submissive give their dom a present as a surprise? Okay, so let's start with what I would consider the very obvious thing, the thing we say in every video. There's no standard way.
No.
Even the things we're going to suggest are just that, suggestions. So you may already have this figured out and have figured it out with your current partner. Great, you don't have to worry about it. You might not have an overly strict power exchange, and it's really sort of loose and in some ways seems probably just as vanilla as any other relationship, and they're just elements of power exchange. So if you don't already have a system, then feel free to take our suggestions. If you've already figured out what works for you, keep doing what works for you. Okay?
That's true.
The other thing is, although this video is geared towards submissives trying to figure out how and what to gift a dominant, I think these go both ways.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, so if you as a submissive are doing this for your dominant can and should in some way do this for you as well. Okay? But the question, especially at this time of year, tends to come from submissives. They're like, my dom is in total control. How the hell do you get somebody a surprise when they control every aspect of their life? Haha, we've got some answers for you.
Definitely make it part of the negotiations.
If you're entering into a new relationship, or negotiations are ongoing, we negotiate new things all the time.
That's right.
If you know that gift giving is sort of how you show affection and those things are important to you and you anticipate being together at gift giving time, if you can, in a new relationship, make it part of the negotiations.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about it. You can use our suggestions or you can talk about it in any way you want. But if you are still at the beginning point or you're in between relationships right now, just when you're going down your checklist, you're like, okay, hair pulling, yes, no. Spanking, yes, no. Wax play, yes, no. Oh, how do you feel about gifts? I have questions. And then just talk about it. It's fine.
Ask if they want to be surprised.
This is the lesson I learned from my first power exchange to now with you. The first time I ever had said, somehow it came up. I think we might have been having a conversation. It was around my birthday, I think, and we were talking about gift giving, and he said, I don't like to be surprised, ever. Do not just surprise me with a gift. Now, as much as I stress out about gift giving, my little heart loves to give people things. If I can afford it, or even if it's not something that costs money, it's something I made, if I think it'll make them happy, I want to, here, I got you something. The baby girl in me can't help it, you know? So he's like, I don't like to be surprised. Don't buy me anything. Don't give me anything. If you don't get my permission to do it, don't do it. And it was a bit of a culture shock. It was definitely what he wanted. So that was his limit. That was his boundary. But what it did was it meant I actually knew to ask you. We didn't think to talk about it at the beginning, but when it was a birthday or it was a something, maybe it was Christmas, I I said, do you want to be surprised? Can I surprise you? I knew to at least ask that question.
Right.
And the answer you get from your dominant informs everything. Because if they're like, yeah, sure, surprise me, I don't care. Well, then fine, you're good. If they don't like to be surprised, then there are other questions to ask. So let's. I think this next one works whether they do or don't want to be surprised. I think it's just good practice for gift giving, but especially as a submissive who's trying to stay within the control of the power exchange.
Ask for ideas or a list.
Yeah, especially if your dom's like, I don't want to be surprised. I was like, okay, I'm going to need you to tell me what I can do, where I can shop, what you like, what you want. Give me choices. Yeah. That relationship didn't last long enough for us to get to that point. But, again, it informed how you and I operated.
Right.
Now, I can't remember anymore. I remember the conversation, but I don't remember your answer. Were you okay with surprises at first? Okay. Yeah. I was like, wait, did he say he wasn't and then he was fine? But you know what I do even now to this day? I'll still check in and go, I would like to surprise you. Are you okay with that?
You do.
And that's not just a gift giving time. That's anytime I have I found a happy for you.
Yes.
Or I have something to tell you. Would you like me to spring it on you? But even then, I mean, gift giving can be so fraught, especially if it's a first time, holiday or occasion with somebody. You're like, what do they like? What do they want? What do they need? It adds a layer of, not concern, but sort of a layer of things to navigate if in your power exchange as a submissive, your dom has all the say, has all the control, gets to make final decisions. It might be the final decision on when you spend, discretionary funds. It might be, decisions about what they want and what they like. They can just be really, really particular. And that's where a list or what stores do you like, what shops do you like, that really comes in handy. I know some people get really disappointed when they can't surprise their partner, but if you've got a partner who doesn't want to be surprised, you're only making yourself happy.
Yeah.
And then once they are upset by the surprise, you will no longer be happy either. So make your life easier and give them what they want, which is a surprise-free gift.
Yeah.
And work within that. Because, from a list, there can still be an element of, it could have been any one of 10 things, but it was that one thing, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of element of the wonder of gift giving, to be able to go, you didn't know exactly what you were going to get, but you are still happy with it.
True. Honor their boundaries.
Yeah. Do what they want you to not do.
This is really important. One thing that kind of changed in our relationship over time is the way we handle money. Mm-hmm. All right. And she has been tasked with pretty much monitoring the credit card for expenses. Mm-hmm. All right. So that we don't get too crazy on things every month. So there are certain times that I will go to her, like, for example, best example of that was last year around our anniversary and your birthday.
Yes, that was a big gift.
And it was a big gift because it was a double gift because her birthday is several days after our anniversary. Mm-hmm. So I went to her and I said, "Do not look at the credit card."
I know. And we have the kind of relationship. I knew that was for get through the gift giving. Once I got my gift, then if I looked. It was, and that was part of the financial control. And we did an episode, not that long ago. I'll link in the places about how we handle money together.
Yeah.
So if you're sharing funds like that, that is maybe a time to think about how do you have separate money or separate your funds so that you can spend without a partner seeing what you've bought for them.
Right.
But also, if they're like, do not surprise me, guess what? Don't surprise them. If they say, I want one of these 10 things, especially when you're new in a relationship, I would hesitate going off the list. I would not suggest going away from the list they've given you. They have set a boundary for what they're comfortable with. just because that's their boundary this year doesn't mean it might not change in the future. Some of those boundaries come from bad tapes and past experiences that they're still dealing with, right?
True.
Some of them are because right now at this moment in their life, this is the level of control they want to have. As long as they're not asking you to do anything that puts you in harm's way, then it's a boundary you need to respect.
Right.
So, yes, I know my submissive friends out there, you want to make your dom super, super happy at gift-giving times, but if you do the thing that is in direct opposition to what they've asked you to do, they're not going to be happy with you.
And Big D's, by the same token, you know, like her, she loves giving gifts.
And getting them.
And,
I like getting them.
Well, getting them, yes, that you do. That's the baby girl. Oh, yeah. But, you know, when she comes to me and says, you know, I've got something and it's tucked away here, you know, please don't look. You know, and I respect that. I don't, you know, I will admit, being the sadist, I may tease her.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pretend that you're about to or that you did. Yeah, and that's,
but I don't.
Right, and that's an example definitely of how it goes the other way. If just because you are in charge does not mean a submissive that can't say, please don't look at this. It's for Christmas. It's for your birthday. It's for whatever. That's something to be respected, and it's how you maintain trust in your relationship.
Absolutely.
And it's at a moment in time when it's meant to be this hopefully delightful time, this moment between the two of you where one of you says to the other, I thought of you when I bought this. I got this for you. I made this for you. Not all gifts have to be purchased because I think it'll make you happy. I did it within your stated limits and boundaries. These are my stated limits and boundaries. Give me the opportunity to give this to you and have that moment to see your delight, your happiness, your joy, or whatever. So, yeah, that's a very good point. Just because you're in charge doesn't mean you get to go barreling through and go, I don't want to have to wait until the day I get to open this gift. Like, don't do that. That's not cool. Not cool at all. So, yes, we're thinking of Hanukkah and Christmas and all the different end-of-year holiday gift giving, but I think this works for anything. And quite frankly, as you get to know one another and your relationship evolves and the longer you're together, the less this stuff kind of applies because you will both relax. You will know what your partner likes. They will probably tell you throughout the year. I love that. I wish I had that. I think I'm going to buy myself that, and then maybe you can swoop in and buy it first, right? And these things won't have to be quite so regimented for most of us the longer our relationship lasts, but in new relationships, in extremely high protocol relationships, these are things you need to talk about so that everybody has a good time when you are exchanging gifts. So, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all we could come up with. So, for anybody else...
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. For anybody else who's sort of had to navigate one partner or the other having very strict needs or wants or please don't do's at gift giving time. If you have any tips that we didn't mention here, things that have worked for you, feel free to share them in the comments below. If you have any questions about this, if you find yourself in that position and you're like, yeah, but I got another scenario, feel free to ask below. We'll try to answer if we can. But that's it for us this time. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, ignore the snoring dog in the background. If you want more of this, including our snoring dog, feel free to subscribe.
Hit the notification bell so you always get notified when we upload new content.
Sure. And if you want to help us do more of this and get extra content you can't get anywhere else, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/killalords. Bye.